Today, I'm Esther Berry with Esther's Ministries, and I'm so glad to be here. I'm going to talk to you today about vision, because vision is very real, and we all have a vision. Now, some of our vision can be muddied. It can be, well, when I close my eyes, I don't see a thing, Esther. And that, I think a lot of that's got to do with the technology that's been in our eye gates for many, many years, and we lose our vision, or we forget our dream, or our dream doesn't come to pass, and we think, well, that was just a dream anyway. Well, I'm here to tell you today, I stand here as a woman who had dreams, prophetic dreams, and visions that have come to pass. And I'm going to share with you how to revive your dream and walk in your vision. Are you ready? All right. So I just have to share with you my experience. And the first experience was first of all, I've got to tell you this. I was sharing this the other day. When you're in the world and you're dead to sin, that means you're a dead man walking. You don't have any relationship with Christ. You are striving to do great things. Some people do it, but it never amounts to anything. I want to try to explain this to you. So when you're walking with Christ, it becomes alive in you. Dreams start, you have dreams, and he talks to you. He really does talk. He's not just an Old Testament God who speaks in the Old Testament. He's speaking still today. And he speaks in all kinds of different ways. He speaks to you sometimes just to have peace. He'll send a bird just singing, and you kind of listen. Oh my gosh, thank you, Lord. If you want a nice fragrance, he'll send a rose to you. You smell the rose. It's beautiful how he does things for you in your life. Rainbow. It's never going to rain again. Don't be concerned about it. I'm not going to flood the earth. Because if you read the Bible and you take it seriously, you'll be saying, oh Lord, please don't be angry. Don't be an angry God with us. Teach us how to be a loving, caring nation so that we can be a great light to you. So anyway, before I got saved, I worked jobs. I started working when I was like 14 because I wanted to earn money because I was going to change the world, right? We've all got our plans. But I didn't care for any of the jobs that I did. And then I got born again. And the Lord changed my heart. And it was like, oh my gosh, I didn't mind cleaning. I didn't mind washing toilets. I didn't mind doing anything. I actually had a joyful spirit about it. It was crazy. It was like, what? But I was happy, and I knew then I wasn't doing it for man's pleasure. I was doing it for God's pleasure. And I knew it was a wonderful, that was when the first time I realized that God was near me because I could be happy doing whatever job I had to do. So with each job, with each profession, and I've had several of them, I'm not going to go into it today, but with each profession, I loved my job. And I had children, and I got married. I did all the things that normal people do, and I thought, I kept thinking that every job was the one that was going to give me this great success, and I was going to be a great name or whatever. And it didn't happen. I was very successful at my jobs, but I never felt successful at it. I always felt like there was more, and I never seemed to get to the more. And so I was a sales director, and oh gosh, and I kept thinking, that I would become a national sales director, then I could retire and take care of my family or whatever. And God called me into the ministry, and I laid everything aside and I went into full-time ministry, into a prayer ministry. I'm still learning how to do that, by the way. It's been a wonderful journey for me. But he started to restore the dreams that I had had as a young person, and I started listening more to him, and I started spending more time with him. Spent a lot of time with him, sometimes 6-7 hours a day, reading the Word and just going and meditating and having visions of a great life, but not particularly about myself, just a great life. It's hard to explain, but I listened and I obeyed. And that's what I want to tell you, first of all. If you have a vision or a dream, you must listen and you must obey, because he's going to tell you to do things that you would never dream to do in your life. You would not dream to do it. You would say, I'm not qualified, I can't do that, I don't have any money. And all of those things happened to me when the Lord spoke to me about opening a school 18 years ago for special needs children. But I was mature enough in my walk with him and knew him well enough. Okay, I'm still getting to know him, that I said yes to him. I said, yes, Lord. And he had shown me let me go back a few years. One time I was out driving and the Lord showed me this huge foundation. It was huge. They were building a hotel or a big building. Anyway, it was a huge foundation. And the Lord spoke and he said, that's what I want you to have for your ministry. I want you to have this huge foundation. And I thought it was my job. I thought my job's going to give me this foundation. Now, my husband was in construction, and I knew that you needed a foundation before you put the walls up. And so I said, okay, Lord, I'll accept it. I had no idea how big the vision was, but it represented the foundation. So be aware of your surroundings, because he sends you things to encourage you. He sends you little tidbits, little mysteries here and there. Oh, excuse me, I thought we had turned that off. That's one of my special children. I have still children at home. Anyway, forgive me for that. But it must be important, because it must be important what I'm telling you. You must need to hear this, because he shows you all kinds of steps along the way to fulfill your vision. Write down your vision, write it down, write down some of your goals that you want to see yourself do in your life, because that's how you get to the next step. My vision was so big, that foundation was so big, I kept asking the Lord, when do we build the walls? When do we build the walls? Well, we built one school, and then it was 2 schools, and now it's 8 or 9 schools, and it's 10 or 12 schools, and the vision is just, it feels like, and I've been doing it for 18, 19 years, and it feels like this is just the beginning of what the Lord has for me. Today he enlarged my vision even greater, because back then when I was building, I had asked him for so many souls. I asked for, and today he showed me, you're in place to get those souls. Okay? And so that's what it's all about, souls, can I tell you? It's all about people and relationships and caring for others. Whatever your vision is, whatever your mission is, whatever your dreams are, it's all got to do, how can you help others? I love you and I bless you today. Thank you.